we move to our next speaker. It is a great pleasure to introduce Professor Dr. Claire Brown, a leader in the field of quantitative bioimaging. Dr. Brown's pioneering research focuses on biophysical methods to explore the complexities of cell adhesion and migration, and she has made significant contributions to advancing live cell imaging and establishing global quality control standards for light microscopy. As the director of the Advanced Bioimaging Facility at McGill University, Dr. Brown oversees Canada's top imaging center, supporting over 120 laboratories and pioneering training programs. Her influence extends beyond her institution. She is the chair and Canadian representative for Global Bioimaging, a founding member of Canada Bioimaging and the Canadian Network of Scientific Platforms, and she co-chairs Bioimaging North America. Through these roles, Dr. Brown has played a key part in fostering a collaborative international community, and she is a dedicated advocate for technology training, education, and professional development for imaging scientists worldwide. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Claire Brown.
So thank you for that kind introduction, Leah. It's a real pleasure to be here with everyone today. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about global bioimaging and different initiatives going on with that community that should also benefit those who are in attendance here. So I'll just wait for my slides. So global bioimaging is a real international network that really covers the globe, and it represents 14 partner networks in 65 countries. So it really is international. You see Latin America Bioimaging is a key member of the network, as well as the Argentinian Microscopy Network. And I'm here also representing, as Leah said, Bioimaging North America and Canada Bioimaging. So the network is organized around working groups, and these groups are really set up to address challenges within the community as a community. So really bringing people together around different topics and things that need to be discussed and sorted out, and using the collective knowledge of the community to progress. So I'm going to mention just a few initiatives in some of these working groups. So one of the key things the community has been doing, which I think is really important, is they've been publishing international recommendations on different topics. So the first one here is on image data, and how can we put together fair image data that can be shared amongst the community internationally. And this was published a couple of years ago and is available on the GBI website. So you'll notice I have QR codes on all the slides. If you're interested in these documents, you can find them. The Career Paths Working Group spent a lot of time from 2019 until about last year putting together an international recommendation for career paths. And I really love this figure, which is part of the paper. Both of these figures really show the people who work in imaging facilities, whether they be light microscopy, electron microscopy, and in Canada we also have a group looking at infrastructure facilities that cover all technology areas. These people are really integral to the fabric of science, and without these people, the advanced technologies are really, large paperweights. So we really need to recognize these people, all the different things they do. They're holding many, many hats: science, administration, management, training. And the goal of this document was to really put it down in paper of the kind of things that they do, and then also present some case studies from around the world where there are clear, stable career paths for these people who are really contributing to scientific discovery and innovation. There's also an international poster that you can put up with a recommendation on authorship and acknowledgement, so that when people contribute to research projects, the facility is acknowledged. or if they've given a real intellectual contribution to the project, that they are co-authors on the paper. And Global BioImaging partnered up with the Royal Microscopy Society recently. The Royal Microscopy Society had developed this recommendation a long time ago, but now they've expanded it into all these different languages, and it's also available in Spanish. So there's also an international recommendation on measuring impact of facilities, and we're going to have a workshop on this afternoon, so I won't spend too much time on it. But it really is telling people how they can measure the impact of their facility, and it gives you guidelines of sort of easier things to measure, things that may take a bit more investment and time to measure. This document kind of got hidden, I find, on the Global BioImaging website, but it's a really valuable one as well. This came out of an annual meeting during the pandemic, where we really thought we need to show the value of facilities. And it's really well written, it's very short, and it gives bullet points of the importance of facilities for different stakeholders. So for instance, for the companies, many who are here as sponsors, if the instrument is in a well-managed facility with experts, they know that the instrument's going to be performing well and bringing out good data for the customers. So it goes through all the different types of stakeholders and what the value is to help you make a case, I guess, if you're talking to your administration or your funders, of the importance of these facilities. I wanted to also mention the Training and Education Working Group. I know that they have a good connection with the Training and Education Working Group in LABI, and Marcela Diaz is one of the co-chairs of that group, as well as Mariana Dinez, who's I know is an active member of LABI as well. And they're working on generating training resources, collaborating internationally, making sure materials are translated, and so on. There's also quite a few training resources through the Global BioImaging community. So they have a lot of training activities for facility staff. They also have an international job shadow program, and I have the QR code there. Anybody working in an imaging facility anywhere in the globe can apply to get funding to travel to another facility for professional development. If you want to go and learn about facility management, or you're getting a new microscope and that another lab has the system and you want to learn more from them, and so on. So it's a really valuable program. And Leah actually just took advantage of that program to come and visit my facility after the Global BioImaging in Montreal. And then there's a really great online training platform for independent learning. So you can go, there's dozens of modules where you can go and learn on your own time. They're guided through on all different topics of microscopy, facility management, and impact. So this is just an example of some of the training courses. They've really been run all over the world, all different topics: image analysis, facility management, train the trainer. And it's really a great community if you can get involved if you're not already. And I wanted to also mention Imaging for All. This is a program that was recently funded by Wellcome and is run by Global BioImaging. And they're going to have another call in December. And there's 3 different levels. You know, you can travel to go to a course or a conference, a workshop. You can also travel to do experiments, so go for 2 weeks to a lab and bring your samples or prepare your samples there and collect data. And there's even a pro one where you can go quite a bit longer. And one thing I would like to emphasize here is I think a lot of the programs have been traveling to North America or Europe and so on, but you can use this funding to travel within the region. So we've just seen from our keynote, you know, there's amazing technology and expertise here in Argentina, in Brazil, in Uruguay. So you can apply for that funding to travel within the region as well, and you know, gain the local expertise, and you can fund your travel, the fees for the facility where you're going, and so on. So it's a really great opportunity. And I wanted to mention the microscopy database. This is an international project that we've taken advantage of in my facility as well, and you can post jobs, events. If you have CAD drawings of cool live cell chambers for your stage, or expansion microscopy, adapted things to hold your large samples or whatever, you can upload those under the tools. If you have software that you're trying to promote for people to use for image analysis. And the idea is you put it in the database once, and then we've partnered with all of these organizations across the globe. And so if you put your job ad there this afternoon, it's going to be in Canada and Singapore and Australia tomorrow on their websites. So it's a really great initiative, and I know for us, we've been getting a lot more international applications for our courses since we started advertising through this. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention technology user groups. So this is not a global bioimaging initiative, but through Canada BioImaging and BioImaging North America. And we've been trying to get people together around advanced technologies to discuss best practices, but also talk about things that don't work. You know, that often doesn't get into the paper, and people waste time repeating something that someone else knows very well is not going to work. So we have, regular meetings on Zoom, we have guest speakers, we have brainstorming sessions, and right now we have 4 topics. We have STED microscopy, expansion microscopy, lattice light sheet, and we also have a metadata and data management group. So if you're interested in getting involved with any of those groups, we try to keep it light, we try to keep it really targeted on the needs of the community. And also, if you're working in any of these areas and you want to present your work or present a project and get some feedback, are you on the right track? It's a really great community as well. So the main event of Global Bioimaging is the Exchange of Experience. And this is run every year, and we just had our last meeting in Montreal just a month ago. And the next one is in Heidelberg in October 2026, so I just thought I would mention that in case people are interested to join the community there. And I think that's my last slide. So I'm happy to take any questions. And if there are no questions, I'm around for the duration of the meeting, so we can talk over coffee.
Claire. Okay, I'm just very interested with BINA at the moment. So can you say something about funding, since things are sort of disappearing, and how you're addressing that?
Mm-hmm. So BioImaging North America has one more year of funding, and then we'll be looking to try to renew, but it's pretty unclear, I think, whether the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative is going to continue to fund the networks. So I think, obviously, a lot of the tools we have here are to advocate that these networks and these facilities are really important, and we're working on that. But I think in the global climate, it's a little difficult to pivot. I think brainstorming, looking at other options. I know the Imaging for All has been quite successful, so perhaps Wellcome will continue those initiatives. And recently we applied for a grant from the Spencer Foundation, which I had never heard of, but their focus is on education. So we applied for some of our training programs, and I'm happy to provide that. But I think that's another, one of the other working groups with Global Bioimaging is how to talk to your funder. And I think that's something else we could do, is also get like a database of potential funding, philanthropists or different organizations. The Spencer Foundation is a nonprofit. So yeah, we're working on it. Happy to chat more, but it's definitely challenging times.
Just a follow-up question, Claire. First of all, thank you so much for your presentation. So you've been in Uruguay and for a while in Argentina, also in Brazil, very briefly. So you know very well our community. So a follow-up question, how do you see that LABI could position itself more strategically to face these challenges that we have worldwide?
Yeah. Well, I think just my comment about Imaging for All, I mean, it could be very simple things, like don't apply to go to Europe if you don't have to. You know, if you have the technology and expertise here, your travel costs are going to be less. You can spend more time in the lab with the funding to do the experiments. So I think that was something that was very useful for me to learn, of the level of technology and expertise here, which we just don't hear about in Canada. So I think don't be shy to talk about all of the excellence that you have. I think I definitely learned there's excellent scientists and people are very, very well trained. I mean, the universities here give a very strong training. And I think students should be sought after and so on. So I think being creative with the funding that is out there. And Lee and I were talking about whether we could set up, BINA has quite a bit of funding for exchanges, but they're usually within North America. But maybe we could talk about earmarking some of that funding for exchanges between North America and Latin America, whether either direction, you know? And then I think looking at different funding options, like we're looking at making some partnerships between University of Buenos Aires and McGill University, for instance, to see if we can get funding from some of the Canadian international initiatives and so on. So I think we have to just keep you know, plugging away and keep looking. I think there's a lot of funding out there that we don't necessarily know about. And I think the tools Global Bioimaging has adapted to show our impact and measure it and have data to say it's important to fund these initiatives because they're having an impact on science. Okay, thank you.